What's going on, everybody? I know we're a little late right now, but I'm not gonna apologize. It ain't my fault. You know what I'm saying? It is the fault of the coach, because as you can see, the World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker, is on the screen. The whip is on the screen, but who don't we see right now? I'm just saying.
Man, all y'all can kiss my ass.
Man, but anyway, guys, thank you. We're here for this very special edition of the Whip Show podcast, and I did want to bring in the other podcasters. So while they're doing that, Joe, just kind of introduce yourself really quickly if they don't know, and let them know about your show that you got, man.
I'm the World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker. I've been a journalist for about closing in on 24 years, and I am the proud host of Raiin, a subdivision of the Whip Show, one of the many parts of the Whip universe, the Whip Show universe, the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. And on my show, I just kind of tell some stories related to and about wrestling and tie it into current events. And I try to follow the lead of the Whip Dog.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you for being on the show.
Hey, Joe, don't blow his head up, man.
Oh, my God.
Come on, man. He's already big enough.
Man,
Look
listen,
here.
Man. I hear you, Coach, but Whip Dog one of the coldest in the game, man. We got to give him some props, man. Listen, it is what it is.
Well,
the truth should be told.
Well, fans, as y'all can hear him, but thank God you can't see him. We got the coach. So, Coach, at least talk since we can't see your ass.
Man, look here, dude. What's up, man? Come on. I'm about this. I need to call up Zoom and see what the heck is going on, partner. Like, what the?
They don't need to see you anyway, man. They just let them just listen to you. They don't need to see you.
Man, well, look, they don't need to see my prettiness. You know, it's all good. They're going to hear me. They're going to definitely hear me.
Well, man, once again, guys, thank everybody for checking in with us right now on the Whip Show podcast. But, guys, as y'all both know, it's been some crazy shit going on in the last couple days, man. I mean, people have been retiring. People have been leaving the company. People have been silently let go. But we're going to start off right now with the big man, Vince McMahon, CEO, the founder of WWE, retired. What was it, Friday at like 4 o'clock Eastern time? Chuck, when you first heard about that, him retiring, man, what did you think about? Oh, there he is. Oh, Lord. This one's got the world behind this guy.
What's up, Coach?
Hey, man. Hey, look, man. Look, this is my world, man. Y'all just trying to get a nut.
Lord. Well, anyway, when you first heard about him retiring, what were you thinking, man? Did you think like, well, what were you thinking?
Him retiring is just honestly him trying to do damage control. That's all it was. Vince McMahon is very arrogant. He's a very arrogant person. I thought that him popping up on Raw and SmackDown the last 3-4 weeks, however how long it's when the first allegation came out, it was a slap in the face. You know, it's like, hey, you know, this is mine. I can do whatever I want. You know, but it's just that wherever it was, it's about to come down the pipe. It was a lot more, and it's just him getting out and just doing damage control. That's all it was.
Joe, when you heard about it, where were you at, and what did you think when you first heard Vince McMahon, who we've been watching for 100 years, man, since we was all little dogs, had retired for the WWE?
I think I was cooking when the news broke, when I got the alert via Twitter, I think. And, you know, I honestly was not surprised. First of all, I was not surprised at all. Like Coach said, damage control. The situation is really spiraled, and it continued to spiral. And you feel like there's more coming. It doesn't look like there's going to show any signs of it getting better, but perhaps just worsening. And so I wasn't surprised at all. Hearing it immediately affected the childhood portion of me, my childhood memories. You know, what Vince McMahon as a creative person in professional wrestling has meant to my life since I was 6 years old. But then the adult me is like, this guy he is arrogant, he is immature. He's a lot of things that I think get brushed under the rug because of his contributions to the industry, because of the history he's made in entertainment, sports, and sports entertainment. And we don't want to gloss over the fact that he kind of comes across as not the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he ain't. He's not.
And this would really got me thinking, though, guys. This was what I really started to marinate on after he retired. The character of Mr. McMahon, and then the person of Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr. I think Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr. that we see in interviews in the media, I think that is the character. And I think Mr. McMahon is more of who he really is. That's what I think.
You know what? I'm going to say this, man, and I'm glad you touched on that, man, because, and listen, I leave the trash talking to the coach. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them guys, man, Mark Henry, and this is not a knock towards them, and all them cats, man, they try to say how Vince was such a good dude. And I agree. He gave them money. He done made them rich. But they can't cover up the fact that dog was on their ass. He definitely was Mr. McMahon. Like, there wasn't no... He made them boys earn every dollar they received, man. And I don't know, man. And I'm on the same wavelength as you, because you were saying that the childhood side of us. I'm gonna be honest, and I said this on my little blurb I did the other day. To people that didn't have no father, watching wrestling was our father. That was our babysitter for years. You know what I'm saying? So you grew up with this. But as you like you said, when you get older and you kind of hear some of the stories, man, I don't know. It's like you thank him for what he did to the business, but you definitely see, I don't know, man. I don't know. Chuck, talk to me, man.
I mean, you know, see, it kind of, I don't look at Vince McMahon like when Hogan was around, Piper, you know, when they were doing the whole cartoon, doing the early days with the ice cream bars, doing the whole WWE songs, grab them cakes, what Junkyard Dogs start coming up. I mean, I don't look at Vince McMahon like that. McMahon didn't start, to me, becoming relevant until what? When Stone Cold got there. What was that, 95? No, yeah. 96. That's when you start I started looking at McMahon. But then for me, as you know, with me and my brother, we started looking at things a little differently, because when 96 hit, you know, we wrestling, you know, we trying to get in the WWE. You know, the first time that we met Vince, you know, we were sitting down eating, and him and the Undertaker walked up, sat right across from us. And it was kind of like, oh shit, that's Vince. And it was a cool meeting, you know, and, you know, but prior to that, you know, I would hear stories from other Black wrestlers on how Vince was behind the scenes. So that's what, you know, when, you know, like, yeah, I hear Mark would say his 2 cents about Vince. And Mark got his reasons to support Vince. But again, you know, hearing through the grapevine through other people, you know, Vince was ass, especially towards Black wrestlers. So I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know. I look at it like it's no sentimental value to it. Okay. It's just like, damn, okay, he retired. You know, I'm curious of what direction it's gonna go. Yes, a lot of the stuff that he had some very memorable moments, you know, whether it was him dealing with Patterson and Briscoe and you know, getting those two formed, him doing the whole corporation thing, the thing he had going with Stone Cold. I think my last bit of when he had the dealings with Hulk Hogan, and around the time he had that feud going with Shane, that was it. After that, that was what, middle 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, Vince ain't been relevant to me then. It's just like, hey, dude, tell your people to stop tripping and sign me and my brother. That's how I'm looking at it.
There you go, man. There you go, man. Before we continue, hey, I want to shout out Jeffrey Wayne Landis. He just checked in with us. And oh God, Brian Mead said, "What up, Deshaun Whipple? About time you had a legend like Chuck Cole on the show, man. Fuck out of here. Whatever, whatever, man. Well, okay, well, I get all that. Well, then now obviously Triple H and Stephanie are going to move it to the forefront, and this guy Nick Khan. Chuck, me and you done had a lot of talks behind the scenes about Nick Khan ass, man. What do you think, honestly? What Nick Khan done did what a lot of people in the business can't do. He done moved his way up to co-CEO with Stephanie McMahon in the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, man.
Well, just like I said to you privately, I'm going to say it to you publicly and for everybody to hear. I think Nick Khan is a fucking scam artist, and he is working with someone on that board. There's no way in the world, like, okay, you got Vince McMahon, and it's the typical, you got Vince McMahon coming in, he's getting older, he's trying to do whatever it is that he's doing, and Khan is getting in his ear saying, hey, I can save this money, I can, the profits, this, and he's doing all these different things because he has McMahon's ear. Now, people need to realize and understand Triple H, okay, he had a heart condition, he had heart problems, but he had his power snatched. Behind the scenes, Triple H wasn't agreeing with what Vince was doing. Stephanie stuff started fading. And what happened before all this mess took place? Stephanie had as they say, a temporary leave of absence or something, until all this mess started happening. So something was going on behind the scenes that they weren't liking. So now, as I told you, you get put in a situation where Vince didn't want them taking over, and he's listening to Khan, but reality starts setting in. Like, hey, I'm about to spending my family. My father had this back in the 70s, might have been late 60s, but I know definitely in the 70s and through the 80s before he bought it from his dad. So, hey, I don't want this to lead a family. So now he started kind of waking up and doing things that he wasn't doing the previous month or 2-3 months, but again, as I told you, Khan, if they never appointed Khan co-CEO, I would have guaranteed you that he would have been fired by Christmas. Stephanie would have got his ass up out of there. And I'm still saying by Christmas, something's gonna happen where he gets rolled up out of there. All this is just it's somebody that he is in connection with on that board that got him moving him up the ladder. And because when you got a company like that now, it ain't just one person saying, hey, you gone. You got people meeting. They calling the shots. When somebody comes in new with a big salary like that, it has to be agreed upon. Something's going on. He got somebody's ear, but it's gonna all come. What do they say? What's in the dark will eventually come to light. He gonna get exposed because I think he the one that's been, ratting out Vince's information. Because
you've been saying that for the longest, man.
Ain't nobody on it. Come on. I mean, think about it, man. You got all these.
Joe over there nodding his head. Joe nodding his head. Anybody agree with that one?
But man, all these people, he done paid off all these chicks, all these years, all this money. Now all of a sudden coming out, they ain't telling. They not saying nothing because I guarantee you they didn't sign a disclosure saying that if you mention anything, any of this come out, you talk about this, you will get sued and you owe that money that was paid out to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing it somewhere, and it has to come from up top. It ain't no low level minion doing that.
Yeah. Now, Joe, you heard what he was saying about Nick Khan, man. But I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was saying that Nick Khan, I don't know if you noticed, but Nick Khan is actually really good friends with The Rock. And I know Joe, I know how you feel about The Rock, man. And also, I didn't know this. Somebody told me, I don't know how legit it was. I didn't go look it up. Nick Khan actually used to help promote pro wrestling Hawaii. That is what somebody said. Again, I don't know if that's a shoot or for real or not or whatever. But with that being said, man, what do you think about Nick Khan in this position, dog? Like, do you think he had a whole plan himself to kind of move through the ranks and move Vince out the way? Because you know that does happen in the corporate world. I used to work for a medical place, and we had hired a team to come in to try to fix the books, same way like Nick Khan. Then we found out they really was only trying to lower the books to move the owner out the company. You know what I'm saying? So, but Joe, what do you think about Nick Khan's movement in the company, man?
I think the most respectable thing that I can say without having any concrete information is that it's questionable. His ascension happened fast, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. One day you didn't hear this guy's name, and the next day you heard it all the time. And the next thing, he's in a high-ranking position. Now he's the co-CEO. Why? Is he really that good at what he does that he's ascended that fast ahead of people who've had tenure in the company and who've also performed excellently, like Paul Levesque? How do you jump Triple H? Especially with the success and what he was able to do with NXT. His success, his management is proven. So what has this guy done to give him that boost? So that's the best thing I can come up with. It's questionable. But as far as what his motives are, again, I don't know the specifics, and we won't know until we know. But listening to Coach talk, I like the candor. Coach speaks very confidently about what he talks about. So me sitting here nodding my head, I feel the rhythm. I feel the energy. I feel the passion in what he's saying. Coach has done something that I've never done. I've never been a professional wrestler before. Have I written about wrestling? Yes. Have I interviewed professional wrestlers? Yes. Have I covered professional wrestling events? Yes. I've never been in a ring. I've never had to deal with anything that goes on behind the scenes. And I've never had the series of insider information that he has being a wrestler. Same thing goes with you, Whip. I don't have the type of information in professional wrestling that you have because I don't have the experiences that you have. I'm strictly an outsider looking in, but I look at it from a fan's perspective, I look at it from a journalist perspective, and I look at it from a human perspective. And the human perspective tells me this is questionable. I'm an inner city kid. I'm from City Heights. This dude is questionable.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Now I'm a big fan of Busted Open Radio. I say that all the time. I listen to them a lot. And one thing that they've been talking about lately is the change in WWE. How much will it change? And Joe, I want you to step on this real quick and then we'll go to Chuck. One of the guys on the show were saying that because of the way the structure of the company is, it's not going to just change tomorrow. People think that tomorrow is going to be a whole new WWE. If there is a change, it'll still be a slow, gradual change. I tend to believe that because no matter what they say, yes, Triple H did what he did with the black and gold brand. Stephanie feel how she feel. And I don't know if y'all just heard, they said they actually moved Bruce Pritchard up officially to head of talent, not head of talent relations, head of creative. Not
That's
really
garbage.
I know, man. Oh, I want you to talk about that too when we go to you. But yeah, they literally just moved him up to head of talent relations. But Joe, first I want to go there. How much do you think the WWE is going to change? And if you were to think of a timeline from a fan's perspective, how long do you think that timeline would be?
Decade.
Oh, so it'll be a minute. So it ain't going to take a.
Well, Vince McMahon has bought this company from his father. He's run this company creatively and professionally for generations, right?
Yeah.
He has people, even though he's retired and moved on, he still has influence behind the scenes.
Yep.
And anybody who thinks that he doesn't, I think it would be misguided to think that. He still has influence over this company, even though he's just recently retired. And his influence is not going to go away overnight. his influence is not going to go away over the next couple of years. He still has people in that company that are going to be loyal to him and his vision, loyal to him and his opinions of how the company should be run, no matter how many people they interchange or what type of changes they try to implement. It's going to take a long time for his imprint on what WWE is to shift and go away. And when I say 10 years, I'm talking 10 years where it's kind of starts to really change before it becomes the vision of someone else who is in charge, to where the company begins to take on more of their personality, more of their direction, more of how they see things, how it should work. That's going to take a long time. And look how long it took for Triple H to change NXT.
Facts.
Think about that.
Facts.
Look at from OVW to the NXT branding to what it is today. I mean, look how long it took Triple H to change that. It's not going to be. It's not going to be overnight. It's not going to be overnight at all.
Okay. Now, shout out to Jonathan Crop. He just said commentators will get more freedom without Vince in their ear all the time. Chuck, what you think about that, man?
I mean, that's true. Well, you know what? Look, I'm gonna say this, and Joe hit the nail on the head when he said it's gonna take time. The only way things change in the WWE is when Pritchard gets let go.
I know you were not a fan of Pritchard at all.
Because he's coming back. Like, okay, if we talking in the 90s, the late 90s, the 2000s, okay, his stuff started getting stale, in the middle teens. Okay, you got to bring somebody else up with younger. Not saying that his ideas aren't good, but to me, this looks like Vince McMahon's last request and wanting Tom Pritchard in that position. Vince McMahon is still calling shots, dog, because that's his boy. And trust me, Pritchard is on the phone with Vince going over stuff, and boom, boom, boom. Vince is still running it. He is still running it because he's just using Pritchard. I guarantee you, because I've heard sometimes that Pritchard and Stephanie, Pritchard and Triple H, they didn't always see eye to eye with ideas. You know what I'm saying? If it's left up to Stephanie and Triple H, Paul Heyman would have that position. Paul Lee has a way better mind than Pritchard, especially at this point. But when Paul Lee has been given powers like that, it's always been Vince has been the one to take it from him. And then what does he do? He goes and appoints Pritchard to take over SmackDown when Paul Lee was running SmackDown.
Because y'all remember, not to cut you off, but you remember Eric Bischoff for a minute had Raw and Paul Heyman had SmackDown. But it only lasted for about 2 months for both of them. But you said that was Vince.
That's Vince. That was Vince.
But why bring them back then in the first place if he was gonna cut their legs out?
I mean, because you got stuff going on behind the scenes, and I'm quite sure you got Stephanie in his ear and saying, "Hey, do this and try to give this a try." And what happens if as soon as Vince doesn't see, it could be a week, 2 weeks, if he doesn't see TV ratings improving, if it's going down, then guess what? Vince is gonna do what Vince does. He's gonna squash it and take it over himself, or appoint his people in position. But again, Pritchard having the position that he has, to me, that smells like Vince. That's nothing but Vince. And I guarantee you, Vince is calling him and telling ideas, do like this, do this. You will see, like Austin Theory. I like the kid, but it's no secret that Theory was a project for Vince, right? If Austin Theory does not get squashed, if he's still getting the same push, Vince is still running that bus. You know what I'm saying? If you still see the same things taking place, the same angles, the same people getting pushed on TV, Vince is still running it. He's still running it. But that's how I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
We got a question on the table again from Jonathan Crop.
Before you jump in,
okay, go ahead.
Well, before you jump in, let me ask Coach something.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, do you think that it would be appropriate with this WWE situation to compare them to Hydra?
You said to compare them.
It's a chop the head off, another head grows type situation to Hydra.
Ooh.
You know what? You could, but I just think, man, you know, I just think that he put Pritchard there. That's his guy. That's always been his guy, his right-hand man, him and Kevin Dunn. And Kevin Dunn is still there. But we don't know what kind of power Dunn is. But to put Pritchard at the highest level, like, yeah, he you know, Vince is still secretly running it. It's just the ideas are going through Kevin. I mean, not Kevin, but for Bruce Pritchard. But, you know, until you get Pritchard out of there, until you get Dunn out of there, it's gonna be the same old.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with that, man. And I kind of like that analogy you just said, Joe, because like, and even with Steph, I know they say Triple H is where he is, but understand Steph is Vince's child. Do you understand? Y'all, I know y'all heard the stories before. Vince was tighter with Stephanie than he was with Shane, which is part of the reason Shane left before, because Stephanie runs things, I hate to say it, but almost as a dictatorship like Vince. They always say this thing called chasing the hug. That's when a wrestler does what he can to try to get that, you did a good job, from Vince. They're going to start doing the same to the Stephanie, because Stephanie's going to be on their ass too, man. And I also agree with what you said about Bruce Pritchard. Look, my problem with Bruce is this. He's been in the company 2, 3, 4 times, but he's also been let go. If he was that great, why did he not have a straight 30-year tenure there? Why did he have to get let go and go to Impact Wrestling and go to all these different places, man? That's just my thought about it. But before we go forward, we got a quick question, guys.
I have something on that. I got something on that. Let me speak to that. Speak to that, Whip. When you are, I guess I would say, underling. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but an underling of Vince, right? And maybe he's done something performance-wise that maybe we're not aware of that Vince pushed him on. Maybe it has nothing to do with what we're seeing on TV, but something behind the scenes that we might not ever know. But maybe he was asked by Vince, you know, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, and he didn't do it up to how well Vince wanted it done, or maybe he didn't execute it as properly as Vince wanted him to, and he was like, okay, you got to go. But then as his time away, that gave us some time to cool off. And he's like, okay, yeah, you know, bow down and come back to bring it back.
For sure. Now, I will say this, Joe, and I think Chuck could attest to this too. And I know you spoke on it a little bit earlier. Behind the scenes in pro wrestling is probably wilder than anything that we see on TV, man. I could even tell you on a local independent level some of the stuff that I know I've seen that if it ever got out, you'd be like, bro, you know what I mean? It's wildness. And the few couple times I've been backstage, I haven't been backstage as much as Chuck has, but I know I saw some stuff even then. You understand what I'm talking about? I've seen people get picked with. Listen, I'll tell this story. I remember Alberto Del Rio's old manager. What was his name? Ricardo Rodriguez. Well, we're all in the back. At this time, he's on TV every week with him. But they put him in the extras area with just us for whatever reason. You know, so we all back there kicking, and obviously we wrestlers, we trying to be professional, but we're just kind of talking. Come to find out, they put him back there really to see if what we were talking about, to see if we were saying any bad-ish about the company while we were getting paid for him as an extra. You know what I'm saying? The man was there as a snitch because he was under contract. There was no reason for him to be back there. But we found out later on that was the purpose. And, you know, because they I remember they sold out United Center, but at that time we were doing SmackDown. It was at Joe Louis Arena, and there was only about 2,000 people there. If you remember, Joe Louis Arena had held 4,000 or 5,000, and we were just making conversation about that. And we found, and the reason why I know it was some BS in the game, because not one of us, again, got called to be an extra. Normally, once you get into their system, even if they don't bring you in and Chuck, I know you can attest to this, even if you're not brought in as a contracted guy, when you're an extra, unless they have something against you, they usually bring you in every time they come to that damn city. True or false, Chuck?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Unless somebody says something about, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you coming in within 150 miles. If they 150 and 150 miles of you, you know they calling you.
So it's a lot of backstage stuff, and it's a story. And Chuck, since we talk about backstage stuff, I want you to tell one of you about. I do want to get to Crop's question right quick, and then we'll go back to that. But Crop does have a question. He said, "Now that Vince is gone, do you think there will be more script freedom?" I assume that he means like the guys don't have to have that long ass sheet when they do their promos anymore. They'll kind of just have bullet points and be able to just flow. Whoever wants to start off with that.
I mean, you know what? I want to say yes, but no. With Pritchard being in charge, no. And then you also have to understand, man, there ain't a lot of cats that can get on that microphone and talk. I mean, they already sound like they sound worse than than high schoolers in a high school play. You know, you're not gonna have that. You're gonna find out quick. You if they do it, they're gonna find out real quick who can survive and who can't. But I just don't see it right now. Not while Pritchard is still not while he's in charge, because that's again, that's Vince's guy. You know, that's Vince's guy.
Joe, what do you think about that? Do you think they will allow more script freedom? Would you like to see more script freedom, or do you already like kind of the way they go with the promo situation?
No, I don't think there'll be more script freedom unless you're somebody that's got years and years of tenure, that you get to the point where your creative input, the input is a little more accepted. I think everybody else is still gonna be scripted. And for that to change, like I was saying earlier, that's another imprint of Vince and the way he runs the program. I just don't think that's something that's gonna go away that quickly.
Okay. Now, one other thing, like I said, with all this Vince downfall going on, this spiral, man. And we haven't really touched on the allegations, but that's already out there. Everybody already knows about that. So there's really no reason for us to go too deep into that. But like I said, there's been a lot of change. His other right-hand man, John Laurinaitis, is out of here. Chuck, with another one of his man's gone. Coach, what do you think about the people power? Ain't with the company no more. People power been there a million years too, man.
Man, look, I just think that it was a person who got comfortable. He got cocky. He's like, hey, I can, I'm untouchable. I can do whatever I want. I'm one of the boss's guys, like whatever. Laurinaitis, he I'll say this, man. Our dealings with Laurinaitis, I thought that, if you go back and you look at his career, I think, you never knew that he was Animal's little brother. I believe it was little brother, but you never knew that they were brothers, right? He gets into the business. What was that tag team? The dudes with attitudes,
the dynamic dudes.
Yeah, there we go.
The dynamic dudes.
Yeah, he never got over. So
wait a minute, Chuck, Coach, hold on. Not in America, but he got over it. He did get over in Japan.
Well, that's what I'm about to say.
Okay,
Johnny Ace.
Yeah. So he here in America, he never got over, but he goes to Japan. And he started doing his thing. He started tagging. He was a longtime tag partner with Stan Hansen. He's a legend over there, a legend. So he comes back here, and now he gets this WWE, position. And then this motherfucker kind of forgets that, dude, you used to be one of them jobbers. You used to be the dude on the low man on the totem pole. Don't walk your ass around here like you Ricky the Dragon fucking Steamboat. like you Arn Anderson. See, like we used to look at those guys backstage, like when Ricky said something, boom, we listening. When Arn said something, we listening. You know what I'm saying? But guys like Johnny Ace, man, you get a lot of those guys that were just jobbers back in the day, and they thump on their chest like, like they were that deal. And that's how Johnny came off to me and my brother. Like, dude, you forgetting your humble background, where you started. How, and he tried to come at us crazy one time, and then like my brother kind of snapped back, and then he kind of backed off. But then each time he was like, "Hey, call Bushwhacker Luke down in Puerto Rico. Tell him tell him I said for you guys to call." So I mean, what Johnny was doing, man, is like, he being one of the boys, the locker room environment, as they say, and just doing dumb stuff, because he felt that, okay, I'm not getting caught. Who gonna tell? I'm untouchable. And you see what somebody up top told, and everything that got down, and he fired, and like really, I don't care what's going on with his marriage, but got to deal with that too.
Shout out to Bella's mom, man. Shout out to Bella's mom.
Them the biggest crooks around. I'm gonna say it like it is, man. Come on, man. Messing around, sleeping with everybody until. Oh, let me stop.
Hey, and y'all want to hear this? Y'all want to hear this each and every week? Make sure you follow the Coach's Corner on the Web Show podcast. He got tons of it, just like this, man.
Let me stop. And get started on them, man, because it's quite a bit of them I get started on. But I'm let me stop.
Hey, yo, see, it's Spencer. We talking about that. I want to go into this with you real quick, Joe. And I'm glad your show is called Raiin. And again, if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you check out Raiin with the Word Heavyweight Champion. And everybody that's watching, keep dropping them questions in the comments. We'll be here for another 10 minutes or so. So drop them questions in the comments. But Joe, and this is a good question for you from the fans' perspective. AEW CEO Tony Khan made a tweet, and he made the tweet reference it was 5 minutes after Vince retired. He made a little tweet, a little jab, saying something to the degree of, "I thank you to all the AEW fans. I am now the longest tenured CEO in the world of professional wrestling. Thank you guys so much. I will see you on AEW Rampage." Mr. Joe Walker of ThisENT.com. What did you think as a fan? Did that bother you? Was it just a playful little whimsical quip? What did you think about that type of tweet like that from the CEO right after Vince McMahon retired?
I thought it was clever, and I also thought it was unnecessary. I am a huge fan of All Elite Wrestling. I like what Tony Khan is trying to do with the company. I like what he's trying to do with outreach for professional wrestling across the board. But I also think that Tony Khan needs to be quiet. I think he's way more vocal in the way that he should be. There's a time and a place for everything. I like when they have the media scrums. He sits there with all the different journalists from various publications and resources and answers questions and gives them some insight and gives them some behind the scenes. I think that's perfect. But sometimes he'll just jump on Twitter or during someone else's podcast as a guest, and he just blurts this stuff that it's like, dude, chill. Hold that. Certain things, whether he's thinking it or not, man, don't say that, man. Be quiet. You're talking too much. Be quiet. So that's what I thought. I thought it was clever. So, I mean, if you think about it, like, oh, okay, I guess now he is. But was it appropriate? Was it a time and place for that? Nah, bro, you was out of pocket.
I want to
hold that one.
I want to ask the coach. He already smiling. I want to ask the coach what do you think about that. I'm a little scared of his response, man.
I'm not. Come on, coach.
I mean, you know what? Look, I see, because this is your show. This ain't mine. Me cut my video because, man, look, I'm gonna rip off a couple 4-letter words, all that. I mean, man, look, And I'm gonna say this, and the fact that okay, I respect that Joe likes AEW, and I respect that you might like AEW. Me personally, I think AEW is just a huge indie federation that is luckily being ran by a billionaire. Tony Khan's dad is running that. He's filtering the money in there. He's being ran by a billionaire.
Did you see the other day? Real quick. Did you see the other day? I'm surprised. It was funny to me. AEW did a happy birthday for the dad on their page.
You did?
Yeah, they
well,
that
because you got to, because he the money man. But see, the thing is this: what's that? As a leader, sometimes it's sometimes best that you don't need to be heard or seen. You just stay behind stay on your lane. Let the people that's under you do their jobs. Let the people up under you do their jobs. Him making that tweet, he didn't need to do that. That was just being a smart ass. And honestly, like, dude, you ain't been involved in the wrestling business long enough to make a statement, to tweet out something like that. I thought it was just like totally disrespectful, like, and made itself look like a buffoon, really.
Yeah, I agree too. When I first saw it, I think I called you as soon as I saw it. I'm like, what's that all about, man? Just promote your show. And I'm with Joe. I'm actually I like AEW to a degree. I'm not a AEW huge fan like the world is, but I do like some of the stuff they do. But I also think they need to just stay focused on them. And this is me talking right now, because from the beginning I was like, it all sounds good. We got an alternative. Rah, rah, rah. I like that. Let's go. But you got to understand, people love you at first. But if you ever booked anything or worked anything, after a year, when people, man, I don't want to lose to him, or this part, why is he the champ? One thing about pro wrestlers, whether we want to admit it or not, wrestlers are not only the biggest, some of the people, grown men with some of the biggest egos, they're also some of the most sensitive grown men in the entire world. They just are.
Big time.
You know what I'm saying? Whether we want to admit it or not. So it sounds good when everybody's on the same page, but when they're not, and that was my thing. I think that I think Tony tends to forget, man. He just tries to push this narrative that we're the greatest thing out there, but if anything, he's gonna end up working with WWE, which is my next question. Before we get out of here. And Joe had to step away for a second, so we'll bring him right back when he gets back on. But Chuck, do you think?
Nope.
Do you?
Nope. No, because
can I get it out to the people that's not watching, to the audio people, man? Let me at least ask the question, man. It's gonna be people listening to this audio.
Go ahead.
Do you think, with the new regime in the WWE, that they will at some point work with AEW?
Hell no. You said, dude, what did you say earlier? What did you say earlier? Stephanie McMahon is Vince's daughter. Stephanie, even though that everybody loves Stephanie, they like Stephanie, she's approachable, everything that you want in a leader, that's still Vince McMahon's daughter. She is still going to look at AEW like, you're still beneath us. You can't touch us. Which they can't. I don't see it. Put it like this. When over in Japan, how many times have All Japan and New Japan worked together? You know what I'm saying?
But did they have them work together?
In all my years.
Now that I think about it.
All my years, I have never seen them work together, run a show together. None of that. Sheer talent, none of that. I've never seen them. I don't see that, man. I don't see that, because WWE is going to still look at AEW like little brother. That they'll look at them like, okay, why are we going to help little brother out to increase their sponsorships, to increase their television commercial revenue, to increase any kind of revenue? Why would they do that? Tony Khan doing AEW and him purchasing Ring of Honor, that ain't hurting WWE. They got a whole long laundry list of shows in their library. They're not going to do that. They're not going to help them. That's helping them more than anything.
Joe, would you like to see WWE and AEW work together at some point? And do you think if it does, because the few times that we have had wrestling leagues work together in the past, it ends up not being as great as people think because one company doesn't want their champion to lose to the other company. But Joe, would you like to see that? And do you think at some point it would be able to work out and be productive and good for the fans?
That's an excellent question, Will. I have mixed emotions about it. Like when I think about wrestling promotions working together, I always go back to Rumble in the Rising Sun. And this was an event that I got to watch, with a cousin of mine. We grew up real close, like brothers, man. And unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. Passed away a year ago, excuse me. And it feels like a couple of years ago, but it was just a year ago. But so as a wrestling fan and thinking about and fantasizing about what could be, that comes with a certain amount of emotional weight for me. So would I want to see something like that happen without him here to see it with me? I'm like, in that regard, I'm like, no. Like, I didn't watch Forbidden Door. And I didn't watch Forbidden Door because he's not here to see that with me. Do I listen to reviews and those type of things? Yes. I like Simon Miller's Ups and Downs. We're blessed to have Simon take part in our 2020 20 questions interview series on thisent.com. Was happy to have him be a part of that. That was great. Love Ups and Downs, but no, I didn't watch. I didn't watch Death Before Dishonor. Not that this is a show. Here's a show where we got FTR against the Briscoes in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag titles, man. For these Ring of Honor tag titles. I would not know about Ring of Honor without my cousin. I know about the Briscoes because of my cousin. My cousin used to fantasy book these tag matches of different competitors against the Briscoes. Now this has happened. He's not here to see it. So all that to say, New Day against the Young Bucks. That would be huge. Will it ever happen? I don't know. Because you're talking revenue, egos. I don't want my team to lose your team. All of that stuff. But as a fan, part of me is like, would I like to see more unity in professional wrestling? Would I like to see some of this stuff happen without the egos ruining it all and just let it be, honestly be for the fans? Just give the fans something they'll enjoy? Sure. But the greater part of me, the part of me that's been watching wrestling since I was 6 years old, that a lot of stuff that I didn't know, I learned from my big cuz, and now he's gone. If any of that stuff would happen, I'm just like, I don't want it.
That was real, man. That was real, man. And salute to you and your cuz, by the way, man. For real, that's what's up, man. Real quick, I want to shout out Brock. He just commented. He said, "Hey, yo, Brock, you already know what it is. Too sweet, my baby, for life, man. It's for life." I don't want to hold you guys up too much longer, man. We already been kind of going. And guys,
really? Really? Hold on, Mr. Eastsider. Really? You don't want to hold? No, dog. Wait a minute, partner. No, We were supposed to do this. You got us on here now. On here now. No, we're gonna keep this rolling, big fella. We gotta keep this rolling.
And this is what I gotta do. This is what I gotta deal with dealing with his ass, man.
No. I'm about to start telling some stories around this piece.
Okay. Because I did say I want you at least to hit them with one of your backstage stories. We were talking about some of the stuff that go on backstage, man. And I want the fans to really listen to this. If he tell the one I think he gonna tell.
Well, I mean, before I ask you, I was gonna, kind of jokingly say to Joe, like when y'all was talking about the New Day versus the Young Bucks, like really, dog, if we wanted to see midget wrestling, we can just we can find one of the local promotions.
Shut up, man.
I'm saying, man, come on.
Micro, man. Shut up.
I mean, Kofi Kingston, the tallest one out of all four of them. I mean, come on.
Lord. There you go, man. Just tell your backstage story, man.
Hold on, wait. Coach, before you tell your story, I got something for you and I got something for Whip.
Okay.
Whip, I'm gonna go with you first. That legacy title belt that's hanging behind you. I would very much at one of these upcoming shows be able to bring that belt with me.
For sure.
And have it for one of these hosting gigs. I would really like to do that.
Because and I don't even know if I said this. Joe actually was the ring announcer for Rigo Flores's promotion, Legacy Pro Wrestling, which I represent all the time with the belt. And people always ask me, where's the belt? And I don't talk about it because Rigo ain't ran no shows in a minute. But for the little Easter egg, when people always ask, I mean, because I took it down to Dallas for WrestleMania. What is that belt? I just always kind of smile and shrug. But yes, it's from Rigo's Pro Wrestling Promotion in Lansing. And the World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker, actually was his ring announcer for that show, man.
Joe, you in Michigan?
That was fun.
Joe, are you in Michigan?
Yes.
Oh, big fella. Okay.
Yes.
He's in Lansing. Chuck, he's coach. He's in Lansing.
Hey, big fella. I'm gonna reach out to you, man. I got a show you need to come and check out Thursday if you can. So you can see first up close and personal. Up close and personal. If you come down, ticket, I got you.
And matter of fact, I actually like that. And since and fans, y'all just have to listen in right now. We actually all got a bit of a Lansing connection anyway. One of these days, we all gonna meet up when we up there in Lansing, go grab some food, just chop it up, and we're gonna go live together one day up there in Lansing.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all down for that?
That's cool.
I am.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That'll be dope, man. That'll be dope. But anyway.
Now, Coach, what I got for you, Coach, after listening to your show, I like that you don't shy away from any. So I'm asking you right now, like all the allegations aside, Vince has done good things for the industry. He has done good things for professional wrestlers on a personal and professional level. But I want to know, like, as a person, what do you think of him and what has he done to the industry that has, without all this other stuff, that has actually hurt it in significant ways?
Well, when Vince first came in, when he first bought it from his father, you had several territories. See, that's how NWA got so popular back in the day. You had different territories outside of, you had the one big, the NWA, which was growing. But when you had the territories and you have this person, you can go territory to territory and build it up. When Vince took over, he promised all those guys that he wasn't going to shut down the territories. He was going to work with them to keep the wrestling strong. Well, Vince didn't do that. Vince turned around and he found, like, say, Junkyard Dog. He went down, I think it was Mid-South. It was another couple of, I can't think of, shucks. I know WCW got a lot of those guys. Sting, he pulled the Vince pulled the Ultimate Warrior, but
what was that, UWF? What was it called?
Yeah, UWF. Yeah. Yep. So Vince went in and is Joe off?
No, he's on. He just turned his video off for a second. He's on.
Vince went in and started taking top guys from these promotions, and it killed those promotions. It killed their business. It made them shut down because now Vince has taken their top stars and brought them into his company. So they had to shut down. That created a lot of tension. Vince didn't care because now at this point, he's putting this money up for WrestleMania. It's a success. Now he's rolling on, everybody remember WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 2 was from 3 different sites. And pulls that off now. 3 different sites. He got WrestleMania matches going on, whole bunch of stuff. He pulls that off now, makes even more money. He's pulling more stars. The only people that he wasn't touching were the folks down south. And that's when everybody down south started to agree to they're gonna come together. And NWA started, the folks that would show up in the house shows of NWA, now they're officially part of NWA/WCW. Vince, and I did a video on this. Vince, the power that he had, he was able to control people's lives. And I talked to Whip about this. If you didn't play in Vince's court, he's screwing you over. He's messing you over. I'm sure, and I have to say allegedly, but but hey, look, you come on over here, come mess around with Big Daddy Vince. I'll make all your dreams happen. Most, I won't say most, but you have those that did and those that didn't. So it was a lot of stuff, and then you get with the black wrestlers. If you remember, everybody that came in, they had to either be dancing, as my brother called it, shucking and jiving. You got to bleach your hair blonde. You know what I'm saying? You have, it was things that was very stereotypical. And I had it, and usually I don't mention this guy's name who I'm about to mention, but it was a show that I just happened to be on with Ahmed Johnson. And Ahmed Johnson said that when he became Intercontinental Champion, because at that time, like the last big muscle bound dude that you had in the WWF at the time was Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas. Ahmed Johnson comes along, and that was the one thing about Vince. Vince loved big muscle bound guys, especially at that time. And he said that, Ahmed told me that Vince said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." He said that they went they went away from everybody, went on a whole other side of the arena. And he was telling me, like, man, I didn't know what this motherfucker was. I didn't know what he was gonna pull. I didn't know what he was up to. And Vince says, "Hey, look, I need you to help me market you. I don't know how to market African Americans. I need help. This is my background. This is how I grew up. This, he broke a lot of stuff down, which I don't want to go into, like, really mentioning. So it made me look at things a lot differently when it came to black wrestlers. Now, you sense that, you had the Rock, but if you notice with the Rock's success, how many times did they mention Rocky Johnson? It was always the mom and the Samoan family. Very rarely did they mention Rocky Johnson. When it came to, when they brought Farouk in, remember that hot garbage that they brought Farouk in, looking like some damn Trojan man, and have him, I think it was Sonny at the time, I believe, as his manager, had him looking like a fool.
I hate that.
Then when they did the Nation, look what they did with the Nation. You had all these, well, you know how it was. So I don't know, even with like New Day, like people sit and talk about New Day. Well, I give Kofi, Xavier Woods, and Biggie, like, I give them so much respect because Vince, they were talking to me about making them the next
Nation of Domination type, yeah.
And they nicked the idea. So they put them in the positive of positivity and all this, and and we, every black person around looked at that like, what kind of garbage is that? They gave them a bull jive gimmick, and those three young brothers took that gimmick, flipped it around, and made it work, and they took it and ran with it. And it's the one thing about Vince McMahon: if you are making money for him, if you bringing in tickets, especially that merchandise, he is gonna push and push and push and keep pushing you and running in the ground, But it's just that the things, how he went about things, it made a lot of people bitter. It screwed a lot of it screwed a lot of things. Like how many people, like with WCW. Here's a true story regarding my brother and I. It was one of those things, man, where we had like 4 or 5, maybe 6 at the time, dark matches. And guys are just kind of dragging their feet. Like, we don't know what's going on. So we called WCW. Terry Taylor was in WWF, and now he's in charge of talent relations over WCW. We called WCW, boom, we talking to, oh yeah, Cole Brothers, okay, yeah, remember, and he talking, all right, well, let me get situated, we gonna see, and that's, it was conversations going. Now you because of what was going on with wrestling at the time, you had you had these churchgoers, the Southern folks that was surrounding, TBS, didn't want that filth flying filth on the television station. So it was a big beef, and it was a thing with Ted Turner, and Ted Turner was looking to sell. Eric Bischoff he was heading a group to buy WCW from Ted Turner. And it was a guy who used to book my brother and I when we first started in this business. And he spoke to the guy about becoming a head writer for the light heavyweight division. And he had worked it where if they hired him, that he was going to bring us in for whatever, whether it was a tryout or get us signed right away. All that stuff, he got hired. He was telling folks like, yeah, I'm bringing the Cole Brothers with me. By that time, Joe, man, like, okay, fuck WWF. If they don't want to call us, man, fuck them, man, whatever. We going to WCW. We got Harlem Heat down there. We're going to be just fine. And dude, maybe a week later, man, we get that news. Vince done bought WCW. You go and tell me what, it's an ego thing, but what owner goes and buys another federation to make it no competition? You know what I'm saying? No competition. He shut down he closed a lot of miles, kept a lot of miles from being fed doing that. Because now he's basically saying, hey, I want you. Oh, no, come on over here, Buff Bagwell. We're going to embarrass you, and then I'm going to kick you out of here. Nope, I don't want you.
Do you remember what he did to Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah.
On that very episode, he said Jeff, Jarre. He said, well, now your name is Goone. Gone. And he never signed Jeff Jarrett till 10 years later after TNA and all that. Like,
yeah.
And they, but Jarrett, they asked him about that, and he said he trying to, because he works for them now. Oh well, I wasn't offended. He had to be. Man, he told you on live television, "I'm not signing you," and he didn't.
Yeah, he closed a lot of miles, man. So it's just that mentality. Like, to me, competition, a healthy competition, makes the wrestling business healthy. And unfortunately, like, I get, like Impact will always be that third fiddle. They don't have enough backing. And then the people that they got running it, that's a whole nother story. They're a bunch of pieces of shits anyway. So, okay, I forgot. I'm on Whips, so I can't go into
unfiltered.
Yeah, I can't go into, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say no name. Scott Noor, piece of shit. Okay. But like AEW, you know, it's nothing wrong with healthy competition, but nobody will reach that point and how WCW was, because you actually had the wars, you actually had the bidding wars on who was going to come with where. You actually had people in place that had strong ideas and to be able to put together strong shows. You know, AEW, bless their hearts, but they're not at that WCW level. They don't have the right people in place, because it's still, you can't go out and expect to make major money when you having blood matches and crazy ass Mick Foley type matches every week, every pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So now, if you do get big money sponsors, they're not gonna want to be in bed with that. You know, so there's nothing wrong with the healthy competition. I know I'm getting long-winded, but like Vince did, that's what Vince did. You know, he shut down the competition. He kept a lot of mouths from being fed, and it was like a lot of resentment. I mean, and if you weren't, you know, like if you weren't a Vince guy, if you weren't like a couple times that we had encounters with them, I'm like, you know, my brother and I in boots, man, we 6'3", 63 and a half. You know, my brother was legit 260, 270. I was legit 245, 250. So we looked apart. So it was never, you know, where he would look at us up and down. Like, no, I mean, we had quick conversations with him, and, you know, like, okay, man, we just, you know, got through talking to the boss, you know, you know, so, but it was just, he a different dude, man. He a different dude. He lived by his rules and his rules only.
We got one more quick question on the table before we go. Wasn't AEW's first mission anyway was to get NXT moved to Tuesday? Do you think that was one of their mission statements, or one of the things do you think they purposely wanted to get them moved to Tuesday? And either one of y'all can answer that.
You know what? I look at that was the competition. You know what I'm saying? AEW and NXT, because basically they had the same kind of wrestlers, and they were doing NXT wasn't doing the same kind of things that AEW was doing, but they had the same kind of wrestlers. You had the smaller guys doing the more flips and more stunts and more of the other action in the ring. It was the same thing, but like, okay, if them saying that they won, like, to me, it's like the little brother syndrome again. Okay, yeah. Pat him on the head, like, okay, we're gonna move. So we're gonna move to this. It's no big deal to us because we're a money making machine. You know, congrats to you guys. Keep it moving.
For sure. Joe, what do you think about that? Do you think that was and once again, shout out to Crop, great question. Do you think that was one of their missions to try to get NXT moved?
I don't know if it was necessarily their mission to get it moved. I felt like it was their mission to prove that they could compete on the same level. And I don't think that it was necessarily a win or lose situation. We're more of I told you so situation. If you told me that I could only write 10 articles in a day and I wrote 15, or if I wrote 12, you told me I can't even get close to that and I wrote 8 or 9, you know, it could be a moral victory. So that's kind of how I see it.
Okay.
Like they wanted to prove that they were competition, and that even though, you know, maybe the bigger company might have give you the perception that they weren't a threat, you saw in some of the moves that they were making, and like there's some degree of concern.
Okay.
And for them, that was validation.
For sure. Well, guys, we've had a good talk today. And again, like I said, Vinnie Mac, definitely, what's the word they say with John Cena? Polarizing. Vince McMahon is going to go down forever as one of the most polarizing characters. Like you said, Joe, you talked about it. He's done a lot of great things, but it's also going to be some things that and I hope this is not Vince. I hope this doesn't happen, but I've seen it when somebody is so ingrained and so engrossed in one thing. Once they retire, 6 months down the road, they might not even. They don't know what to do with themselves or something. Vince, we pray that you still here forever, man. And I know you retired, quote, quote. I know your ass better still be out there punching and kicking, Vince, somehow, some way. But well, you say what?
He's still working.
I know. That's what you keep saying, man. So before we get out of here, Joe, I want to let them know real quick again how they can check you out and what else you got coming. What else you got coming down the pike, man?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joe Walker. You can read or see things that I edit and publish every day on thisent.com. It's THISENT.com. You can follow This ENT on all social media at This ENT1, and make sure that you are following and subscribe to the Whip Show. That's muy importante. So you can see more episodes of Raiin coming down the pipe from me, but I defer to these two, to the Whip Dog, to the coach. You need to be following them and listening to them. The interviews that Whip has with some of the people who are inside the wrestling industry that you might not have eyes on, I think is incredible. The Santana Jackson interview, it's incredible. The Dusty Rhodes impersonator, I don't even know if you want to call him the Dusty Rhodes tribute person, it would be more accurate. It was incredible. And there's so much more that you go back into Whip's library, Vince Russo and some other very notable people in the wrestling industry. I think you should check out those interviews. And then if you're a person who just likes dialogue, listen to Coach. Listen to Coach. He's strong on his beliefs and his opinions, but be objective and just listen. Follow them, subscribe. That's what I say.
Salute for that, man. And y'all, don't let him try to downplay himself. Make sure y'all check out Raiin. That last episode about Kevin Hart on Cold as Balls was very thought-provoking, man. He kind of touched on base on what if Kevin Hart was in the pro wrestling world as a pro wrestling manager. A really good episode, man. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, but make sure y'all go check that out as well. It's real good, man. Coach, what your crazy ass got coming up down the pike, man? I mean, I know some of them, but go ahead and let them know, man.
Just cut another video. Just waiting for Whip Dog to do what he need to do to upload it. So you guys check that out. It's just my thoughts on behind the scenes and people. As I say that if you're trying to get into the world of professional wrestling or sports entertainment, however your circle wants to call it, that you have to be very mentally tough and strong, and dealing with the crap that goes on backstage. You have to be more tougher and more stronger than actually getting in the ring, because you deal with a whole lot of stuff. But just check that out. What I say, I don't pull any punches. And if I'm not mentioning any names, that's only because I don't want to get myself or Whip Dog sued. But I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I got my share of stories which will come out a time or two, but it's just the things that I see. It's a lot more stuff that goes on backstage that people don't realize and know what's happening. So just follow, listen to everybody, and enjoy what Whip is doing and bringing guys with different opinions and different ideologies, different backgrounds together. So that's my good word. So hey, Whip, I need my $15 for saying a good word to you too.
Lord. And also, guys, just check your cash out in about 10 minutes.
Hey, yeah. And look, I know you got listeners here in the state of Michigan. And I will make sure that Whip Dog has his information because she should be at the show. But yes, in my 27 years, I am still doing shows, and I have a show coming up this Thursday in Berkeley, Michigan. So I'll make sure Whip Dog has that information posted if anybody wants to come, because I'm quite sure with all the bull jive that I'm talking, I got people wondering like, okay, for that, I want to go see the coach because he's doing a whole lot of talking. He's doing a whole lot of jaw jacking. I want to see if he's really this good. Yeah, folks, I am. I mean, I try to be humble, but yeah, I am. I'm that deal. So yeah, you know, it is what it is.
Y'all heard him, man.
And can I just interject and say, if you do disagree with something that Whip or Coach says, don't approach them in the streets with that nonsense because they some big dudes. So don't be no fool, okay?
Oh yeah, man. Look, I had to lay
fool.
down. I had to put it down when I said what I said about Adam Cole, Adam Page. You know, what was that other sucker? The Eddie. What's his name?
Eddie Kingston, when he's talking about the body shaming.
I mean, I had to let folks know, like, I need you guys to understand, like, yeah, you know, I am 6'2", I am 240. I do train. I train, and you can think box, whether it's jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, I do train. So yeah, I have a PhD in whooping ass. So I don't do nothing stupid. We can talk like, you know, grown men, and you can hate me all you want, because that's my thing. I'd rather get booed by 18,000 be cheered by 500 any day. But just don't be crazy. Don't be crazy.
With that being said, y'all, thank you for checking us out. This is the very first live edition of the show we ever did, Roundtable. I like the way it went. We're going to kind of start implementing this from time to time, but make sure you check out the Whip Show podcast, follow it, subscribe, check out This ENT. And like he said, if you're in Michigan, come out to Berkeley this Thursday. It's going to be a great show. I just interviewed Santana Jackson on my show. He's going to be here. He's part of the MJ Live tribute concert. I ain't talking about you. I just interviewed. He's going to be here this Thursday. Kidding about Code, Chuck, the coach. But he's going to be here. And also, I just saw they're going to do an after party with the wrestlers at the Green Lantern Pizza. So you got a chance to come watch a great show, boo these guys, and then get to meet their crazy selves face to face after, man.
Damn, the after party. You better be at the show. You know, I don't give a damn.
I'm gonna be there, man. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna commentate
on time.
I don't know about all that. I'm a star, baby. I'm a star. I get there when I get there. But on that note, thank y'all for checking out the Wrestling Heroes Inside the podcast. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all next time. Take care, y'all.